How's it going, everyone? Star here, and welcome back to the Pokémon Horizons episode review. In case you missed last week's episode, make sure you check it out. We have a really good episode with the introduction of Shiny Rayquaza coming out of Roy's Pokeball. Make sure you do check it out because this episode links in with some of the events that happened in the last week's episode. And with that being said, without further ado, let's jump into today's episode review. So this week's episode opens up with Liko and Roy having a little battle. As both of them are now trainers, it's their job to get stronger, and that means battling each other. Although I will say, this battle was not the best. The two of them, Liko and Roy, were just firing moves aimlessly with Sprigatito and Fuecoco, and they were not landing anything at all. It was pretty much one of them says a move, the other says a move, and the moves just collided and nothing was happening. You can tell these moves were not trained at all, and they were very weak. As both the Pokemon are just firing moves aimlessly, they run out of energy and eventually go to sleep. The two of them then meet up with the rest of the Rising Volt tacklers, where Professor Frida installed a new app on their phones. It's basically like a group chat so they always can keep in contact with the Rising Volt tacklers. Roy's phone is then also fitted with a Pokédex, and he really wants to catch this shiny Rayquaza. And we find out there is also another new member of the Rising Volt tacklers who we haven't seen before, named Dot, who's Murdoch's niece. And apparently this Dot is a whiz with electronics and able to find different things. So they were told to go see Dot and they might have a link to Shiny Rayquaza. Liko and Roy head to find Dot, but Dot isn't really in the talking mood and sends Quaxley out to tell them basically to get a bit stronger. Liko and Roy then head to Professor Frida and ask him to train them. They all head out onto the battlefield where Liko and Roy are facing Captain Pikachu, and can I just say, Captain Pikachu is so confident and so strong it could probably do this battle with its eyes closed. It's so clear that Sprigatito and Fuecoco have no chance, they can't even land a single hit, and they start to get stressed out with Captain Pikachu using double team. Sprigatito really doesn't like it and Fuecoco doesn't, and they just run into every single one of the double team and eventually find Captain Pikachu, but by the time they are actually about to do something, they're again too exhausted to battle and they go to sleep. The group then have some lunch and Liko and Roy decide to battle again to see if they've learnt anything from Captain Pikachu, and they did. They were a lot more focused, they weren't sending off moves here, there and everywhere. They were waiting for each other to attack, and then once one attacked, the other was dodging, and then when that person was attacking, the other person was dodging, and they were a lot more focused with this battle. However, Liko did come out on top of this battle and end up winning it because Sprigatito learnt a new move, Quick Attack, which it dodged an Ember and shot into Fuecoco, sending it backwards and knocking it out. Liko and Roy then head to find Dot again as they have got a little bit stronger, and Quaxley again pops out of the door with a little letter, and it shows that Rayquaza is in the Palada region. And that's basically where the episode ended. So there we go, a little bit of a different type episode, not a major impacted episode into this anime. I mean, we had Sprigatito learning a new move, but that's probably about all major that's happened. I mean, we've got the introduction of Dot, although we don't really know too much about her, although we do have a little feeling of who she might be. I'm sure that'll be told in the next episode. So I think the rating I'm going to give this episode is a 6 out of 10. Like I said, nothing major happens, but it is part of the main story. It's not so much a filler episode. They learned to get some training. Sprigatito learned a new move. Liko got a first win, and we did get the introduction of Dot. So 6 out of 10 is what I'm going to give it. There we go, I think that's where we're going to end this week's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comment section. And finally, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with the next one.